Okay, I'm about to say some phrases that kind of feel a little bit cringy for me to say, but if I didn't hear these types of things, I would have stopped. Okay, so here we go. Do you realize, now this is my own twist on these metaphors, do you realize how many people there are who are digging for gold? They're 5 minutes away from getting that gold and they stop. They never get it, even though they were this close. Okay, there are so many people trying to climb mountains. They're 10 minutes away from reaching the top, but there's a fog there. They can't see the top, so they never get there and they go back down. This is so many people. Now, this may not be the video that you expect though, because you may expect me to give you some sort of motivational speech on how to get to that goal without giving up this time like you continue to do. Been there, done that, okay? Where you can't be consistent because something gets in the way, you get burnt out, you lose the motivation, so you don't get there. And you have to restart later. Maybe you never actually restart it at all, you fully give up on it, okay? This isn't going to be your typical motivational video. I'm actually going to be giving you the potential real reasons why you stop. Because too many hustle hard videos are giving you advice that give you such great temporary motivation to reach your goal, but it cannot last. You cannot get there if you are ignoring the real reasons why you didn't get there before and you kept giving up. What are these real reasons? None of them are external. So for myself, I've been on this journey with YouTube and posting consistently for, I think it's been almost 2 years now, and it has actually been very difficult. The filming and editing is so fun for me. I absolutely love teaching. I'm very passionate, as you maybe can see. Why has this been a very difficult journey of being consistent with it? It was more than one thing, but not any of those things, zero of them were external. Okay, it wasn't because I didn't have the right camera, I didn't have the right microphone, didn't have the right background. No, I film on my phone. So it's never been because of anything external, even if I told myself that that was the reason. It's always been something else. So I'm going to give you the example of today. What happened to me is what happens to a lot of people without realizing, because we're so used to numbing ourselves out that we think it's normal, where I was about to do the task that I was supposed to do, set up my camera and start filming, and I get the strong craving to go and scroll on my phone. Oh, okay, we're in 2026, everyone's addicted to their phones, it's just what we do, everyone's addicted. What if those sudden cravings are not coincidental at all? They're not because you're in 2026. They're not because you're just addicted to your phone. They're actually because your brain knows the quickest, easiest, least difficult route to get you to numb away from a feeling or a thought that you're trying to avoid. Okay, procrastination so much of the time is not because we don't want to physically do the tasks, because usually those tasks aren't that difficult to do. We can physically do a lot of things. Look at the buildings around you. Humans made these buildings, okay? We are capable of a lot. Humans are capable of so much. So procrastination is majority of the time us avoiding a feeling that we don't want to feel. So the brain goes to the easiest resource that it can, the most familiar dopamine distraction that it can, to numb you out and to not do the thing that you said you want to do to get into your dream life, okay? Mine was scrolling on the phone. So thankfully, I'm very aware of this. The first minute of scrolling my phone, I stopped myself. I said, okay, stopping everything, phone is going on the counter, and I'm going to figure out what is actually going on. It was a thought process going on, and I knew this. I've done this a million times before. I stop everything. My brain is screaming, dinging, go get sugar, go on your phone, go on social media, do the thing to distract, and you just have to numb it out. Sometimes we can't listen to our thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts are not for us to listen to. We have to be the bigger person and actually ignore them. Sometimes we're not actually training ourselves to do that. So I had to ignore those thoughts and figure out what was the real thing going on that was making me procrastinate. What was the feeling or the thought in my subconscious mind that was making me not want to do the thing that I know is going to bring me to my dream life? You can do this numerous ways, but I like to do EFT tapping. This is just one way of getting whatever thought process is really going on to the forefront of the mind so I can confront it, so I can face it, okay? So I did some tapping, okay. I'm feeling like I don't want to do this thing. I'm feeling this emotion, I'm going through the tapping. I'm tapping on the meridian points of the body. I'm saying the situation, and what comes up is this fear of being seen from a situation in my life that happened, I don't know, 10 years ago. Something that's so not relevant today, but the subconscious mind just wants to keep you safe, so it will hold on to these memories that are not relevant today to keep you safe so that you don't relive the experience that brought up an emotion that felt negative to your body and it doesn't want you to re-experience. So my mind brought up the emotion of something that I experienced 10 years ago that made me feel like I don't want to be seen. And I had to confront it. And the beautiful thing about confronting these thoughts, these memories, these emotions is most of the time when we just see it, it dissolves. I felt the emotion, I felt the pain of the moment that thing happened, because so much of the time that pain is still in us and it just wants to be felt. I felt the emotion, of course. I always teach you guys that. Feel the emotion. I felt that pain of that moment like 10 years ago. I felt it, I dissolved it. And the beautiful thing was that when I looked at it again, I was neutral. I didn't have any emotion tied to it anymore. I looked at the place where I was going to film and I didn't feel the need to procrastinate anymore. I actually felt really excited. Some people are walking around with these memories and these thoughts that are creating procrastination, and they never get to where they want to go because of one single memory, one single emotion that they're trying to avoid. That 20 minutes of processing for a few days, a few weeks, depending on how severe it is, could completely dissolve it. Okay? So now I'm filming, here I am. Okay, so having bad thoughts and bad memories is not the only thing that's going to create you to procrastinate and not move towards your dream life. We're going to talk about the rest in a minute. Like what I was saying prior, okay, this is not one of those videos that's going to tell you to hustle harder. I just want to re-emphasize this real quick. The action steps that you have to take most likely aren't difficult. You know how to do them. You're capable of doing them. Maybe you have to learn something to do them, but you're fully capable of doing it. A lot of the time, we are not moving towards where we want to go. We're getting burnt out, not because of the actions, but because of something going on inside, okay? So let's talk about what I just experienced and how this could relate to you. Some sort of mental block is the first one. Mental block. It usually comes from an experience from the past that was negative to our subconscious mind, okay? It brought up some sort of shame, some sort of negative feeling. It made us feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. People will laugh at me. I'm going to experience the same thing from my parent, the same thing from my friend if I do this again, even if it's so not relevant today. There's some sort of mental block. And this literally could be when you were 5 years old, you stood in front of your class and you peed your pants because you were so scared of what you were about to say or whatever. Like something that happened maybe 35 years ago. So how do we get that thought to come up so we can confront it? So I like to do EFT tapping, like I said. I've actually made a video on how to do EFT tapping, and I'll put that link in the description for you to watch after. It's like crazy powerful to get those subconscious thoughts that are always there all of the time actually to the surface. We can meditate, so just be still, okay, without distractions. Okay, with the intention of figuring out what's stopping me right now. And usually the thought will come to the forefront of your mind. If you just try your best to silence the monkey mind for a minute, relax your body, and like I said, with that intention, figure out what's actually going on. Why am I so afraid? It might bring up a memory, or it might bring up a feeling. If that feeling comes, do not run away. Feel it, process it, breathe into it so it dissolves, and so you can move forward. Or you can speak to yourself and tell yourself why, after you dissolve it, you don't need to be afraid of that feeling anymore. Okay, and we can journal. Journaling is a fantastic way also, physically, pen on paper, not just typing on your computer, writing out what's going on. Okay, writing out what you're feeling, how you don't want to do it, and be just so real and honest with yourself here. There's no one watching. There's no one who's going to read it. You can burn that piece of paper after if you want to. No one's going to see. Really be real, like no one is watching, and write out, what are you feeling? What are you trying to avoid? What's coming up for you? I don't care if it seems like the most extreme emotion for the most minor thing. Let it seem extreme on that piece of paper so that it can be processed and you can see what's really going on. Okay, so that's how we figure out these mental blocks. I offer coaching if you need help. If you're feeling really, really stuck with this, I can help you with this. So That can be booked in the link in the bio if you want help with discovering your mental block. Okay, number 2 is perfectionism. So having a highly perfectionistic mindset is, take me serious when I say this, take me literal, is extremely physically draining to the body. Physically draining. No human has the capability of being perfect, and we are striving to be perfect when it is not possible, using every resource we can in our mind and our body to try to get there. And because we can't, it is so physically draining that over time, eventually, I promise you, you will start to procrastinate and you will eventually give up. Because you are trying to walk in a lane that you shouldn't walk in. You won't get to where you want to go with having a highly perfectionistic mindset. And if you do somehow get there, I hope you're comfortable with burnout and living your life with burnout. If you expect yourself to live a completely perfect life where every task you do is perfect, where every single day you check off everything in that to-do list and you make sure you do it top. You put on every single hat you can. You are the perfect cook for your family. You are the perfect wife. You are the perfect businesswoman. You perfectly do everything in your work. You never upset anybody. You never have your own opinions. You always show up exactly how other people want you to show up in the most perfect way you can. You will be so unfulfilled. You won't get to where you want to go. And like I said, if you actually do, if you fight through that perfectionism, you fight through that procrastination, you fight through enough, become very familiar with burnout and unfulfillment. Okay? You can do tasks good, but you cannot put on the hat of every single role and expect yourself to be perfect at all of them as one human being. It's not physically possible. So you're physically draining your body. And this is why so many people don't get to where they want to go, is because they have such high pressure on themselves to be perfect. And even if you're doing, this is a fascinating thing that goes into the next point, even if you're doing the most fun task in the world, like your job is something that you love, something you dreamed of, you edit videos, you speak to people all day, you love talking with people, whatever it is, even if you really love your job, if you have a perfectionistic mindset, that will become the worst job in the world for you, because you won't be able to do it perfect. And you'll be so harsh on yourself when you can't do it perfect that you'll stop enjoying something that you once loved. Very quickly, you'll stop enjoying this. Very quickly, it will become boring, mundane, and actually something that you dread. Not because it's actually difficult work you'll think it is. Not because it's actually boring work you'll think it is. But because you're carrying such a perfectionistic mindset, you've switched your entire paradigm to the point where the work that used to be good and great and fun is now dreadful. You can post your videos, you can do the task, you can be the wife, be the mother that shows up imperfectly. You can try your best with the resources you have. Always try your best, but don't expect perfectionism. You can show up imperfectly. And guess what? Those who try to get to the goal perfectly go at such a slow rate compared to the person who accepts that they will be imperfect. Number 3, which kind of ties into it, we have to let ourselves have fun, as much fun as we physically can with the tasks that we have to do. So if you have to do certain tasks every single day to reach your goal, to get to your dream life, to become a new type of person, if you have to do certain tasks every day, which you probably do if you're trying to radically change yourself, you have to sit with yourself for a minute or an hour and ask yourself, how can I make this as fun as I possibly can? We think that work has to be boring, dull, and difficult, and that's actually not true. There are ways to change every single task that you currently do in even some very minor way to make it a little bit more fun. We have to start making our daily tasks more fun. Not just because it feels good, but because when they're more fun, we don't procrastinate them so much. We don't give up on our goals so quickly because we're not doing the same boring thing, hating our life every single day. We watch these videos on learning to hustle hard, and it says push through the pain. Yeah, we have to push through pain sometimes, 100%. But what if that pain doesn't have to be so painful and it can actually be more fun? What if owning the business, working towards your dream life, doesn't have to be the most brutal thing that you expect it to be? The conversations maybe you have to have with these people for your work, for your business, or whatever you have to do. Maybe you hate doing that. What if you can see it as a time to connect, a time to understand people more, a time to say a joke? You know, how can you make those conversations more fun? How can you make writing emails more fun? Can you get a nice drink when you write those emails? Can you set a cozy atmosphere? You know, can you set some background music that's uplifting? Like, what can you do physically to make the tasks more fun, and you'll procrastinate them way less? So, this is everything internal that may have been stopping you from getting to your goals, because we watch too many videos that tell us about the external, but so much of the time, those aren't the real reasons. Okay? I know the last point wasn't necessarily an internal thing. In the beginning, it's internal. We have to figure out how can we make this more fun. And then externally, we might have to change some things, but I think it ties into the video. So I hope that helped you. Let me know if it did. I'm excited about this video. I think it was really good. I liked it. It wasn't perfect, and that's fine, but I really liked it. So I hope you did too. I offer coaching, and that can be booked down below, like I said, and it's all online through voice note coaching or video call coaching. I also offer coaching with EFT if you want it. If you don't want to learn it and you just want to do it with somebody, that's fine too. Okay, I hope this helped you, and I'll see you guys next time.